Assalamu alaikum. A very good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whichever time zone you are in the world. And welcome to Relax Radio's travel show with your host, Sami Sanaullah and Shovon Sky. And of course, this is our usual regular travel show, but today we have some special guests on a different topic, but also related to the betterment of our society. So, of course, there has been so much happening. There has been a lot more activity in terms of travel. The global travel has seen a surge, a very slow surge, although it is, and it is measured to be between 10 and 15% of the last year's market. So if you compare what we were doing last year, this year the travel and tourism industry is doing between 10 and 15% of last year's. But it's still a very good news because that shows that there is a sign of recovery. We know it is going to be a long road to recovery. It will take time. It is not going to happen overnight, unlike some other trades like food or like fashion or like hairdressing. And that is going to be different. So in the UK, of course, we are still in lockdown. Britain, we are in lockdown until the 2nd of December. And we are hoping that after the 2nd of December, there will be major changes. There is some positive news, of course, to the travel industry is that from after the 15th of December, people who are returning to the United Kingdom from um, countries that are not on the safe air list, safe air corridors as they are called, will be allowed to have a test after 5 days of arrival and will not need to isolate for 14 days. So that's still good news because you're cutting it down to 5 days instead of 14 days, and that is a reduction of 9 days, which of course is very valuable because if you've been away for about 4 days on a business trip and you're back, you need to stay for 14 days. You need to isolate yourself. You cannot go to the supermarkets. You cannot go out anywhere. You need to stay in your home within the four walls until the 14 days are over. That, of course, is going to change as long as you've tested negative. Then you can go back to your normal routine after the 5 day period. But that's all good news. And we hope that we will continue to have positive news. The vaccines, as we all know, have been trialed and are very successful so far with up to 94.5%. So we are hoping that it will be very positive. But on a different note, of course, we do need to see what have we learned out of this pandemic? What have we learned out of this crisis, that those of us who are fortunate enough to not to have to get handouts, are we looking to others who are in difficulty, others those who are in need? And of course today I'm joined by two special guests who have dedicated so much of their valuable time and resources to bettering the society. But I'd like to bring onto stage now, first of all, Nadia Sharkar. Assalamu alaikum, Nadia. Welcome to Relax Radio, and thank you for joining us. We are so glad that you've been able to join us with your busy schedule of work, family, and volunteering. So
Thank you.
thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
And welcome. And we also like to welcome with us another guest, Mr. Adnan Hussein, who represents the It's Humanity Foundation. It's another wonderful organization that works with the long-term sustainable community projects as well. So welcome, Adnan Bhai. It's so great to have you with us again on Relax Radio.
Thank you so much, Sami Bhai, for inviting me to this event. Really glad to be back. I feel like I'm the part of the Relax family. Been here before, even in London. So it's really good to be back. And I'm really looking forward to this discussion with Nadia, Afu, and you.
Thank you very much. So, of course, in Bangladesh, as the rest of the world, the pandemic continues, but we have learned so much. And it is, of course, very heartbreaking to see the people who have less are the most vulnerable, the most in need. And with that in view, of course, we know that Nadia is coming to the aid along with all the supporters and the donors and the well wishers for the projects into food projects. But before we go into that, Nadia, would you be kind enough to give us a bit of a background onto how long ago you were inspired into starting this good work for the betterment of our society?
Well, I think I started it like around 7 years back, and it all started with a very tragic moment of my life. That was my dad went to a drastic, I would say he had a stroke, and after that, he couldn't eat through his, I mean, he couldn't eat properly, so he would be always fed through a pipe. So that's, I think that was one of the moment when it just, I thought, okay, as my father couldn't eat, I could feel the pain. So that's when it hit me. But then again, we come from a family, especially me. I come from a family where my parents would always do a lot of not only charitable work, but helping our relatives, helping the people from village, and I mean, I would see my dad doing very random acts, but a very small act, but it would actually impact a lot on me. And same goes for my mom. I mean, I always talk about my dad, but actually, I think it's my mom who taught me uh, what it takes to give and what pleasure I get by giving. So it all started from childhood, but I think I'm working on various projects for the last 7 years, yes. But last 3, 4 years, I think very, very active. And so far, I don't know why I do not have an so-called form, or should I say it, organization. I have no idea why I don't, but yet I think I can do it. It's always not that I need to have an organization or I need to have a form of body just to work all this kind of projects. So it's going good, alhamdulillah. So that's what I do, and I do have many projects, but the main one is we try to give meals. So if gradually it started with once a week, and then it went to twice a week, and now it's every day. So right now what we are running is every day we give away breakfast and lunch twice, uh, yes, twice a week. So yeah, that's all about it. And other projects, it keeps on coming going. It also depends on the fund, it depends on the situations. It's sometimes it's very difficult to do certain things even if you want to do, but it's very difficult. And due to the pandemic, um, yeah, you can't do everything you want. You have to have certain plans. You need to have the backup. You need to have the fund. So yeah.
Thank you. Adnan Bhai, if you would like to share your story of how you came into this charitable works. We've, of course, heard of Nadia's very touching story, and it's really a life changing situation. Tell us about yours. Mute microphone.
Yeah, thank you, Sami bhai. Uh, for me, it's more likely that I've seen in my family, generation to generation, that they're involved in charities, and I think because growing up in a joint family was give me like would help me to understand the what is empathy and sympathy, the differences between this. And I think since my childhood, I have learned this very closely, like with my family, or and then that so that helped me to discover, to come and to come forward and support these people. So my journey started in 2010, when I was in the university, and that moment when I took the decision that I have to give up my family business, and then I have to join something that gives me a meaningful life. I mean, for me, like, everyone has a different meaning of life, but for me, it was the answer question that that was always in my mind, to do something for them. And since I started my university, gives me inspirations, and what me how a small initiative can change people's life, and it can turn into an organization and support millions of people. I think that
We are having some sound issues, Adnan Bhai. I believe there are some sound issues with the microphone. It may be that the connection is a bit insecure, and that may be causing some interference. Perhaps you want to try and connect the microphone again, or
Is it okay
perhaps
now?
it's better now. Yes, thank you. Yes,
Okay.
sorry. We were hearing about, yes, you had to sort of move away from business and come into this sector of giving. So if you could
Yeah.
please continue for our
So
viewers.
yeah, like everyone has a different perspective about life, and I think I had the like since my childhood I had the pretty much same. And then since when people ask me that what's the key factor behind coming to this sector, about working with the humanity sector. So I think I wanted to become a doctor in my life. I have seen my nana and my mamus and my sisters, they're doctor. And but I was very weak in the maths, and somehow I had a kind of difficulties continuing my studies in science. And then I changed my sector, came to the like business school. And then from there I had a different thought of doing business and helping people in this way. But when I joined my university, so basically that time I decided to do something. There was a bit of incident that I would like to share, but I don't take much time. So
Please.
basically, I went to a winter campaign, and where for the first time, I experienced with many families who send their children in the forced child labor, because since in the rural Bangladesh, still there's a father is the only earning member, and mothers is doing nothing at home, like instead of like cooking and other things. So where they choose, they dependent on the second income, and they choose the children to send to the different shops and earn money for their families. So I think that time I when I was talking to some of the families, and they explained that only for less than a $1 per week a children is not going to school. So and that experience was horrible for me, because I alhamdulillah I'm blessed, and have all kind of opportunities in my life since my childhood. And I think I have something to give back, not only just for as my family into the charity sector, for generation to generation, but something that is which is meaningful and which connects my heart and my dedication. So I think that's where its Humanity Foundation bloomed that day in 2009. And 2010 I started IHF, with the hope to eliminate poverty and create a secure future for the underprivileged community. So from and starting with the 17 children only, currently IHF uh, touched about over 1,000 children's life by providing them educations and healthcare. Not only this, but also supporting their mothers with the financial sustainability by giving them income opportunity, and also providing them skills which helps them to ensure their financial sustainability in life. So alhamdulillah, like we have come so far. It's been 10 years we have been working under IHF, and it gives us immense pleasure to see the children are growing and making differences, and also the mothers are like you know become an entrepreneur, supporting their families and other families also. So yeah, over to you, Simon. Right.
Thank you so much. We're going to go in for a short commercial break, and as soon as we return, we will continue the discussion. But let us just go very quickly into some of the comments that have appeared while the show began. So we have one from our viewer, Adridi Tabassum, saying hi. We say hi. Please continue to watch the show, and of course, continue to share this show. And I would request all the viewers to share this to as many people as possible, because you don't have to contribute financially, but you can do this by creating an awareness. So, the more people you share this to, the more people will come to know of the wonderful work that Nadia Sharkar and Mr. Adnan Hussain of IHF are doing together for the community and the society. So, that's my request to everybody who is watching us on this. We appreciate your comments, but please do continue to share. Another Shurujali Sharkar said, so good. Thank you so much. Yes, we do need your support. So please do share it to as many people as you can. And then we have Ikrar Imtiaz. Nice to see Mr. Adnan Senbai. So that's probably one of your supporters. And yes, thank you. That's great to see. And we have Ahmad Zakib Sadman, hoping for a great show and looking forward to a great discussion. Thank you. Well, you stay with us while we return from a short commercial break. And in the meantime, of course, continue to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So if you can see us on YouTube, the Relax Radio Travel Show, please subscribe and like us. And of course, on the Facebook. If you are watching on Facebook Live through any of our shared posts, you can log in directly to Relax Radio Travel Show on the Facebook. And of course, your comments will be visible directly to us and to our guests in here. But we're going to be back in a very short while. In the meantime, stay with Relax and stay relaxed.
Online, on the iOS and Android, on your mobile phones, Bengali's biggest conversation around the globe. This is Relax Radio.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Relax Radio Travel Show, and thank you for being with us during this short break. And as said, we have today two guests with us who are representing the charitable sector, the benevolent sector, and we have Nadia Sarkar and Adnan Hussain. Both of them are working in the betterment of our society. And coincidentally, they both seem to come from the same region of Bangladesh, beautiful North Bangladesh, which is full of wonderful produce and fruits, and of course, wonderful people as well with great hearts. So it's a sheer coincidence, of course. Dinajpur is a very dear place to me, not only because my cousin sister and her husband are both UNOs in Dinajpur, but my visit, I really loved that part of Bangladesh, the northern part. And I think it's sometimes sort of understated and underrepresented, but it's great to have two very inspired.
Really. I will interrupt in that. Not really.
It's in terms of the scenario. I think it's so nice, and that of course in Bangladesh, when we look in tours, travels and tours, as you all know, that this Relax Radio Travel Show is supported by the Bangladesh Tourism Board, the BTB, and also by the Bangladesh Porjoton Corporation. So we thank both the Bangladesh Tourism Board and the Bangladesh Porjoton Corporation for their support of our programs and their endorsement of our programs. So we will continue on to the discussion with both Nadia Sarkar and Adnan Hussain Bhai onto the work that they do on a day-to-day basis. If I could first of all get Nadia to actually give us a bit of an insight into the work that you do on a daily basis. First of all, if we appreciate for all the listeners and the viewers, is that the support for people who are in difficulties, and it can be anybody who is in difficulty. Remembering this pandemic has changed so many people's lives, even people who had full proper jobs all of a sudden have become jobless, and as a result they find the difficulty in even being able to pay their rent or to get their meals, even have two full meals a day has been difficult for a lot of people. And of course, in countries where there is no social welfare system, unlike the developed Western countries where there is a social welfare system that people will not go hungry if they have no jobs, and there is a welfare system that will allow them to at least live on a hand to mouth basis. But that is not there in countries where, like Bangladesh, or even like in countries like the Middle East. We know that our fellows in the Middle East as well are suffering very much from no jobs, no salaries, no accommodation, and of course they are not even being able to come back home in this situation. But coming to the Bangladesh perspective, of course, we are not only talking only about people who are homeless, but we are also talking about average people who would be earning a living, and when they have in a pandemic, if we look at the scenario, when the offices are open, people are going to the offices. They are either using a rickshaw or a CNG or public transport or private transport if they are fortunate enough. And in this scenario where the offices are experiencing less people going to the offices, what is happening is that the rickshaw puller is not getting the fare. He is not getting that number of passengers. So that means that he hasn't got enough money to pay for the rickshaw rent of the rickshaw to the rickshaw owner. And then of course he hasn't to earn enough money to once first of all pay the rickshaw owner the rental, and then on top of that he has got to then sustain himself, his food, etc., and his family's foods. So this is where we have some the like of Nadia, who is been working tirelessly on a daily basis in Dhaka, and recently in I believe in Manikganj and Dinajpur, and also
Yes.
in Lakhimpur. I believe you have been doing some work.
Yes,
S-
and we will start doing more works, inshallah.
Right. So, if you could please give us a bit about the work that you have been doing over these years, but especially during this pandemic. I understand the challenges are very great because in this pandemic, you have hygiene issues, you have safety issues, because yourself going out, exposing yourself to the risks, and also your volunteers exposing themselves to this coronavirus COVID-19 risk, which is somewhat frightening. But I say I salute and take my hats off to all the people who are working in this situation, risking their own lives, but they're trying to actually um, make an impact, a positive impact for the others. So, yes, please, let's hear it from you.
Okay. First thing, whatever our project is, I would call it our, because it's not only me who's working. It's a group of I would say my friends, my colleagues, my friends to friends who keep on supporting me. And yes, they sometimes they want to come and help me with their time, but they can't. And due to this pandemic, yes, some people are a little afraid to come, go out of the house, go out of the comfort zone, and do something. It's I think it's every one of us wants to do something, but sometimes we can't due to various circumstances. So we shouldn't be pointing fingers at anybody at this point of time. Rather, if somebody even, I would say, even if they want to do something, when they can't, probably a simple share in Facebook or any social media, that is actually very helpful. So recently, what I have been doing was giving everyday meal due to not only in the pandemic time, but before also I used to try giving everyday meals. But since March, it became more like it's more like religiously every day. So we started up with lunch, and in the Ramadan time we delivered iftaris. And but after the Ramadan, I personally thought, okay, the lunch I used to distribute, it was getting very, very difficult due to, obviously maintaining the line or distributing the food. It was very difficult. And as I keep on saying, as I'm not an organization or any form of any body, so I don't have too many volunteers. It's just my friends who help me, or my office staffs who are helping me, or maybe the guards of the house I live in, they are helping me. And it's remarkable that sometimes even the rickshaw pullers, they are my volunteers. And I kid you not, they are actually my volunteers. They're the one who maintains the line. They're the one who is, distributing the food. So I basically, sometimes I don't need volunteers. They come and they help me. So now what I have started is giving away morning breakfast. What and why? Number one was giving away lunch on a daytime. It was very, very difficult. But one of the main reason was, when anybody, their day needs to start with one meal. They need to be happy in the morning. Their stomach needs to be full. Otherwise, they cannot work. Obviously, due to the pandemic, the work pressure became very, very less. And as Mr. Sami was saying, we need to start from the ground level. We need to we all are talking about people losing their jobs. I guess middle class people, they can't do much about it. But first, we have to start from the core. From the very ground level, from where it started. So, as Mr. Sami was saying, the rickshaw pullers, they have a huge less income due to, because there is no school open, or no college, or no university. So their one whole market just vanished. So obviously their income reduced a lot. So I decided, all right, let's start by giving food. And obviously, I think in the beginning we started giving the the packet, the food package, where we distributed like rice, dal, and many other stuff, which is like soap and other stuff. But now we are not giving away any packets, but we're just giving meals. And obviously, due to the winter, we started planning. I mean, this all takes 2 months to 3 months of planning. So now we are going to give blankets. In fact, we already started distributing blankets. And due to the dengue thingy going on, I mean, there's, I think, another pandemic, if not pandemic, but this is, people are not talking about it, but equally, a lot of patients are being admitted in the hospitals due to dengue. So I decided, all right, why not mosquito coils? So to some places, I'm trying to give mosquito net, but on every, I'm trying to reach out to everybody for also mosquito coils. At least one packet contains more than 25 coils. So I think good to go for a month. So why not? So that's what we are doing. And yes, everything has a planning. People expect us to, if something happens, they expect us to do it in 1 day or 2 days. But no, anybody who is into this field, it takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of funding. It takes a lot of effort to do something. For example, I am going to on the northern part of Bangladesh to distribute blankets. So it takes a lot of hassle. Nobody understands the work behind it, like getting the blankets from the factory to my house, then from here to the location we are going to distribute, and it's a hell lot of planning. And when I work individually, that means I have to do all by myself, starting from promoting the entire project to promoting everything, be it in Facebook, be it in Instagram, be it personally over the phone or WhatsApp. But you have to be continuously connected with other people who will keep on donating. So that's one very crucial part. Even if you want to do something, it doesn't matter how big or how small, you need your fund to be ready. So to have the fund ready, you need to have a very consistent work. And The consistent work depends on, months and months and months of work. So whatever me and Adnan is doing, maybe today we are sitting here and talking about it. People might think, it's very easy to do certain things, but we know what it takes. We actually know, and it is a lot of planning. I mean, even with Adnan, we planned to distribute blankets in two schools, and suddenly we realized that our dates are not matching. But well, we can't help it. We have to just go on with the show. Yes, that's it.
Thank you so much. Let me invite Adnan Bhai to actually give his side. Of course, he's as Nadia's work is more on the short term, but of course there is also the long term where you look at the winter blankets. And we are going to come to the next in a bit. I know you have some other project with some children where Nadia has been working very much inspiring. We're going to come to that in a bit. But let me go to Adnan Bhai first of all, into the It's Humanity Foundation's work in the Chakar School. I think it's a very inspiring project seeing the Chakar School where you actually bring the school to the children rather than take the children to the school. So if you could give us a bit of an insight
Yes.
over there, that'd be great. Thank you, Adnan.
Well, thank you, Sami. So basically, Chakari School, we thought about this project in 2015. This IHF was still very young, and then we were thinking of doing something very innovative to protect the street children, especially. And there was a lot of ideas in our mind and in head and in the discussion, definitely. So, but then we were very confused to do something which grabbed the attention of the children, because the street children are more into monies, and they are like, they have been exploited in many ways. It can be like, like any kind of harassment, any kind of abusement. So they're exposed to like in many ways. So for them to bringing back the attention for the schools was very difficult. And then we were discussing about something, and that mobile school came out in our mind. But then, definitely a mobile school, it has to be something which is like digitally connected, and also something to give back to the children, so that they can continue coming to the schools. So after thinking of like 2 years, we came up with the solutions of doing something digitally, and the bus, having a bus, all the interior like a classroom, which goes place to place, and provide a bit of education to the children. But with time and experience, we definitely came with a sustainable idea, which not only like providing a bit of education, but also promoting quality educations among street children, so that it will be more sustainable and connecting with the children. So in 2019, we came up with a sketch of a digital mobile school. And Chakari School is the first, we claim it as the first digital mobile school. There are a few mobile school, but which have done amazing, surely. But we came up with the idea of like connecting this bus digitally, like providing tabs and like including TV into this, and providing some sort of digital curriculum to the children that attracts them to come on a regular basis. In 2020, we supposed to start in March, but due to the pandemic, we had to stop. We had to hold our work for some time, and in July this year, we finally started our operation with Chakari School. So Chakari School is basically a digital mobile school which aims to provide and promote quality educations among the street children who are exposed to the different kind of harassment and abusement in the streets. So the concept was that they don't have to come to the school will go to them and provide them education. Alhamdulillah, when we started, we were also like, we're not enough confident that whether we could convince the parents or not, because a lot of parents think like, we'll take the children in the bus and we will maybe go somewhere taking these children. But then, Alhamdulillah, the parents were really convinced with our work, and the commitment we gave to them. We are fulfilling. We have 25 children currently, in the school, and getting proper educations under this. And we have a lot of supporters who have been supporting this project. I would like to definitely, I'd like to mention two names, which is a Tao Foundation, a children brand, a Tapul Oil, which is supporting us with the logistic supports of the Chakari school, and another is a US based NGO. It's called Community Partner International, who's been supporting our operations very closely and monitoring and giving all kind of supports to operate Chakari school on a daily basis. Uh, we uh, we we were thinking of having 120 children in a year, and graduate them from the pre-primary to the primary schools, because our target is to, like, every year we take 120 children into the four different locations of Dhaka city, and we'll put them in a different government and NGOs school to continue their education through the sponsorship program. But due to the pandemic, we had a very much limited shift for the classes. So we have currently only 25 students who are getting the regular educations through this project. But inshallah, once the schools are open, and then we will expand our operations into the different part of Dhaka city. And one day, not only in Dhaka city but also in the 7 divisions of Bangladesh, we will operate. And inshallah, one day there will be no street children begging in the road, or exposed to any different kind of crime. Because I'm sure Nadia Apu knows very well that these children basically, they're exposed to in many many ways, like even the sexual harassment, verbal, physical harassment. They don't even know, they don't even have any idea about like what they are going through. uh, so even if it's like 25 children is coming out from the street, and having a life which is like more meaningful, I think this is something that we are changing lives. So Chakari school is a project of changing lives, and we see this 25 children as a goodwill ambassador for Chakari school, because they are going back to their community and saying that, see, this project is changing their lives, and they're understanding the importance of education. So they are also creating awareness, like why the education is important and how it can change their life.
Thank you. I believe it's very, very important to have a basic numeracy and literacy skills, and as of course you have said, that these children are exposed to so many hazards and dangers in such a dangerous world, that they don't have a voice. And sometimes, as these children can also feel that they may be vulnerable by going into a school inside a bus, as you've said. But I think it's very important that they appreciate now the value of this the education, the basic education that IHF is extending to them, and that they can go on to inspire others to come and join this Chakar school. Now, one of the issues, a point that we've of course looked at here, is that children, and I know Nadia has also along the project done, where inspired a lot of her volunteers from families of from children of her family, of her friends and families, who
Yes.
have been baking cakes and making foods. And I believe they've been doing lots of interesting things, making pictures, drawings, and headbands. So that's another form of volunteering from the children, to understand, and this gives them an opportunity to appreciate how blessed they are to be in households that have everything that they can wish for, compared to those who haven't got even the basic necessities. So that, I find, again, is a wonderful project of supporting the children to understand. And I really sort of salute the parents who have instilled that, because we live in such a selfish society nowadays, that especially in countries like Bangladesh, there are those who are very kind, and who want to do something, who want to feel happy by giving. And then there are those who want to lock themselves up in their own bubble and just have their own security and comfort and forget about everybody else. So it's that sort of tunnel vision
No, no,
sometimes
but
we have.
I personally think we shouldn't be thinking who wants to be in a bubble, rather
Mhm.
what we can do to influence them, or
Yes.
be it whatever. I mean, by our act, they shouldn't feel that okay, they need to be in a bubble. They should come out by themselves. We shouldn't
Yes.
drag them out. Number
Well,
one.
I think
And
I'd like to add that, I believe that people are not selfish in a way. I think we're just too busy to solving our problems, and I think the people like Nadia Apu and the people like we see around us who's supporting our project and cause. Definitely, they're the people who's like, they're the part of these projects and initiatives. And I think if everyone have the opportunity, definitely they will find a way to support people. Like for me, I believe that every human being has something to give, and they're giving it in their own way. I think everyone, even if someone is like really bad, if someone is like really killing people in a other way, like, they're giving something back to in the other
yeah,
way. I mean,
actually,
ji ji ji, sure, Adyapu.
sorry for interrupting. But Jita, does the way Adnan was saying that everybody does have something to give, because I
Yes.
would say I do not have any, I mean, volunteers. Who are my volunteers? The very basic rickshaw pullers, or the beggars, or the street kids. I mean, when I distribute food in the morning, there's a total different scenario in the morning, which we hardly get to see. There are kids, I know for the fact that just a night before they were either verbally abused, or some of the kids are actually being sexually abused in a very much of a tri-state of Bangladesh, I mean Dhaka, and they don't even know that they're being actually abused sexually. But all they know, some of the kids actually came up to me and told that, it hurts me. I can't sit properly. I can't sleep properly because I was abused. But they
Mm.
are the one who is actually helping me to distribute food at 6:30 a.m. So everybody does have something to give. And
Absolutely.
Adnan, I went to one of your Chakar school. I absolutely loved the idea, and one of the best thing about that school is you open the bus and there is a water bottle. I mean, a filtered water bottle. I noticed that, and all the kids were coming and saying, as I went there with a bit of food, I mean, lunch for all the kids. So they were saying that we need to, I mean, drink a glass of water first, and then they're going to have their lunch. So that actually kind of moved me, that they didn't only think about the education. What nowadays a lot of people, we all think is, education is the most basic thing we need to give. But before that, our stomach needs to be filled, we need to be happy, our environment need to be safe, and then we can absorb the education we give them. So first we need to, we do not need to compromise our basic needs. So Adnan, your school, I don't know what kind of education you guys gave, but that simple one filtered bottle, I mean water bottle, it moved me. It made my day. You know
Well,
what? You gave the
well,
very simplest thing importance. That's the most important thing. We forget that we don't give importance to the very, very simple thing.
well, Apu, that's what the thing, like, when you give, I mean, childrens are they are like very good at imitating people, right? So what we are doing is not only just providing education, but also we are providing to the moral and social skills to these children, because these children, we cannot give them like, just the education. I mean, that's very hard to process for them. So what we are doing is like basically we're providing them the social and moral skills, so that they understand the needs of on a like the needs of daily basis, what they need to do, how they need to do. So these are the things, alhamdulillah, that I have a great team behind the work. They are managing all the works, and alhamdulillah, like they're doing really great. And the teachers and the volunteers who are working in the field, I think these are the people who really get like, like they deserve the appreciation for this. What you are saying, you're very kind, like saying this to this live, and that melts my heart. Thank you so much. I mean, that's one of the
But at the
achievements
end of the
that
day,
someone is like,
but at the
talking
end of the
about.
day, it's the captain who pulls the ship. So the
Yeah.
captain needs to be well organized, well educated, and well civilized. So yes. But
Thank you.
one thing,
This means a lot to me.
no, no, I would like to add one thing, Adnan. That is, uh, what we are doing is we are only providing education to the kids, but we forget, what about the parents? Is the home, I mean, everything begins at home. Charity begins at home, education begins at home, your ethics begins at home. So the other day when I went to your school, I was just telling to all the parents that, you know what, don't use abusive words in front of your kids. Don't behave badly with your wife. Do not behave badly with your husband. So as you have a full I mean full organized one organization, so why don't you all try to have weekly based or monthly based one class for the parents? It's absolutely
We
much
do
more
have,
needed.
Ji, we do have, sorry for the interruption, Apu. So
Hmm.
we do have a PTM. So, like, even if we are working with the marginalized community, but definitely we are, like, we have a PTA, a Parents Teacher Association, where we invite the parents, like, on a monthly basis, and we
Mhm.
discuss about the work and things. Definitely, like, it's just 1 hour we are discussing. We are trying our level best to make this happen, that if the parents understand what is the importance of, like, having a very uh, uh, like uh, like using the good words in front of the children, I think that will make a lot of differences. We just started in the Chakari school. Alhamdulillah, we have the other schools, not all, but we have come across, like, all this outcomes through our meetings. So, but thank you so much for putting this one. And that is why I was saying in the beginning of my like, talk with this live, that we also have a women empowerment project, where we give the opportunity to the mothers of these children, not only have the financial sustainability, but also get the moral and social skills, so that they can transfer the skills to their children, for the
Yes.
betterment of this, like, children.
That's actually very, very important. And I see a lot of people are actually just, I mean, they give importance only to educations. And also, I don't know if this is the right forum to talk about it or not, but we only think about, girls' safety. How do we empower them, or, how they will be protected. But not even for once, not even for once, any organization thought, where is the core? I mean, what is the problem? I mean, the problem, I'm sorry, here is two men sitting in front of me, but there is not a single organization who is working with a couple of, I mean, group of men sitting there and teaching them, you know what, this is right and this is wrong. You shouldn't be treating your girls this way. You shouldn't be treating your wife this way. So I think this needs to come out. There should be enough classes for men as well, and also for parents. I mean, the parents needs to know how, I mean, I wouldn't say how to bring up a child, but what are the right ways to communicate with your kids. How, I mean, even a normal, a very poor person, how he can make his surroundings little better for the kid. So they don't know the, I mean, they have no knowledge about how to make it happen. So here comes us. We have the, I think, Allah have given us that power, or you can say our, we have that platform to teach the parents, like, this is how these things should be done. So I would request, Adnan, as you are associated with couple of schools, so rather than having a parents teachers meeting, we should have a parents counseling session, where one can be taught how to behave properly with the kid. Because I see my surroundings, when I mean, in many projects I see, mothers are kind of bit abusive to their kids. I know they love their kids a lot, but the way they're talking, whatever we put in our kids head, it's what it stays forever. So we need to change our system. So I guess you should have more of parents session rather than parents teachers meeting. It
Well,
is a realistic
well,
pitch.
I totally agree with you, Nadia. When the parents teacher meeting is basically is not just about the academic, but also talking about the in general, that we do the counseling with the parents, like, how they should behave with the children, or how they should look after to their children, talking about the good touch but bad touch. So we have done the some of the like workshop with the parents also, like how to being a good friend of your children and get to know them closely. So I think these are the important, but I think you're right that we should have more like a counseling instead of a meeting with the like parents to parents. And I think that would be wonderful if someone is sharing their views about this. So we are very much open, Nadia Apu. If you have some like any idea, you're very welcome to come and work with us. Like, I'm just like saying publicly to this. I think Sami bhai, we know each other gladly that we are together, but I'm also publicly like approaching you. If you have some better idea, why don't you like let's have a collaboration on something, and then we can work together. So
Yes.
That's a brilliant idea. I think what the issue here we're looking at is, of course, the awareness, the social awareness, and what I find is that it's not only amongst the less educated, but even amongst the somewhat educated, we have these issues. And one of the reasons is where we are lacking more time in this current digital world. We find not only in Bangladesh but across the globe, people have become more detached from their families. People have less time to dedicate to their families, to their children. And sometimes they forget that the children are the best investment that they have, because if they have a good if they leave behind children who are capable of coping in the world and being good citizens, that is an investment that will continue to be reinvested again. So, and this is something that we a lot of us often overlook, sometimes in the drive to make more money, to gain more wealth, to gain more power. We overlook the needs of the family. But I'm always very touched by especially the needy and their contentment at the slightest thing, at the smile that a little act can do. Like when you give them a blanket, the smile that you get, that genuine smile, that means a million. That is worth millions. Whereas when you compare that sometimes to those of us who have so much, we sometimes fail to appreciate. You have the latest, the games console, and we say, well, no, I need another one. I need another module. I need another game to play with that. Or the needy who haven't got the basics, but they're so content. That smile it brings when you give them that pack of food in the morning, that breakfast, that smile, that genuine smile. And I think that is really what the volunteers, the supporters, the donors, that smile resonates into 1,000 smiles. And that's what we want to do. We want to bring a smile to a child, to a family, to one in need, one in difficulty. And it doesn't need a very wealthy person to do that. Of course, you need to have some of your own funds, as both of yourselves and others who are doing. But I think what is very important is that your credibility, both yourself, Nadia, and Adnan, where you have been working with the community, and over a number of years, the people who support have already gained that trust in you. They know you're able to deliver what you have set out to do, and they know your commitment, that even if you've got so much of work and a personal family life, but you are still committed to making somebody else happy. And that really means a lot to the supporters. And I hope that the donors will continue to support some wonderful projects like yours, and come forward to support even with ideas. It doesn't always need to be financial. It can be ideas, it can be a bit of time, it can be encouragement, even by saying, well, Nadia, Adnan, you're doing a great job. That itself is a support. And of course, financially, we are all able to support financially here and there. I mean, it's not something out of the world for us. Alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed us with sufficient that we are able to sustain ourselves. And at the end of the day, I always think, when I'm gone, I'm going to take nothing of that with me. I'm going to leave all that behind, everything that I've been working for, but the good deeds. The good deeds, people will remember you for what you have done. Nadia and Adnan, when you will be remembered by people for the good deeds. And I think that is really why we exist. That we are here in this world not to make ourselves happy, but to make others happy, and their happiness makes us happy. That is how it works. But just coming into the costings very briefly, is I know in the past I've spoken to Adnan, is that, as you said, that just $1 a week, and that's what, if a cup of coffee costs more than $1. I mean, okay, we're in UK in
Yeah.
pound sterling. So if I go and buy myself a cup of coffee, I will be looking at least £2, £2 50. So which is what we say about araisho taka, at least, a bit more than araisho taka, for example. And I think that araisho taka, and if I put a bit more, I can actually contribute a blanket as well. Is it that not correct, Nadia?
Yes, that's right. A little more.
A little more, yes. So I just
Maybe
add, say I add a slice of cake with my
it would cost a blanket.
yes. Excellent. So if
And
I yes.
like even what Nadia was saying, definitely a cup of coffee is basically can save someone's life during this winter. And
Yes.
even if you see like it's just a 12 pound can educate a children for a month. So I
Mhm.
think we have it's a choice, to giving back to the community. I always say when people ask me about my job, I count it, I see this as a lifestyle. I mean, working in the development sector is a lifestyle, and it's a choice
It is.
that you make
Yes.
for your life. And I think it's a choice that people make to give back to the community. And we are giving like in one to another somehow, like giving back to the community, people that we love, we care. So I think that's what it is.
No,
I
but
just want to add, Sir, go
someone
ahead.
was saying we need to invest on our kids. No, I think we need to invest on ourselves. We need to invest on our contentment. We need to figure it out first. What brings actual joy? Is it materialistic or is it the service we give? So it's always the service. You
Well,
go by
that's a
religious
choice.
book.
That's a
No, no. If you
choice.
go by religious book, it's actually contentment by giving service. You go by practicality, it's always actually the simplest service. Even if I buy a very expensive bag, probably I'm going to be a talk of my group, but a smile at the end of the night when you close your eyes just before going to sleep, you're going to remember what are the good deeds you did. So you actually need to invest on yourself, on the fact that what actually brings me joy. So one person, when any person understands this, they are ready to give, and it's no harm to fill up your cup, unless and unless you fill up your cup, you can't give it. So it's absolutely fine.
Exactly, Apu. Mane,
It's
even
absolutely fine, but a few drops to here and there, it's fine. So for
I think
that
Apu, what
content,
what you are saying is basically there's no harm to like invest in yourself. Even in
yes, it's
Islam, it says
absolutely fine.
even it's in Islam it says আগে নিজের বাসার বাতি জ্বালাও তারপর মসজিদে বাতি জ্বালাও. I
Exactly.
don't
Need
mind,
it.
Yeah.
like even
Yes.
working in this humanitarian sector, when I go for like for a like fine dining or having a expensive dinner, when people ask me like oh তুমি তো charity নিয়ে কাজ করো,
Oh
তুমি
yes,
তো এত
you
জায়গায়,
said that
come
once.
on, like what I am doing, I'm doing my part, please don't teach me what I'm doing, right? So
I guess
i
we
i mean
get
you
through this a lot, right? Oh my God. Sometimes at middle of the night, I get hate mails. I mean, like, are you for real? Am I getting hate mails middle of the night? Is this for real? But I guess that's part of the journey. Yes. But one
It's
must
very
know,
much, I think. Yes.
it's when we're talking here, I know for the fact we shouldn't be always talking about poor people or needy people. We must focus, uh, if our activities, if our service is actually influencing other people just like us. It doesn't matter whether what we are doing for the needy people. Let's forget about the needy people. Let's forget about the poor people. Let's just concentrate. Are we creating any ripple in the society or not? If we are, our job is done. As simple as that.
I think we're the modern charity that we think about like in a both way parallelly, and we
Yes.
accept this publicly. There's no hide and seek thing,
No, no,
because
no, there is no hide and
if
seek.
I am if I'm not happy, what I'm doing is like there's no point of doing it, right? I cannot
Mm.
just like give up my life to doing something. There has to be something that, making me happy, and there has to be something that I'm investing on myself, to make myself keep going and motivated. I think that's where it works, in a way. I think I don't mind of like, buying expensive like stuffs for me, and also at the same time I'm helping the kids and people that we are working with.
It's
um
actually, it's all about, I mean, that's what exactly I'm going to repeat again. Whatever I am doing, or whatever Adnan is doing, or whatever, whoever is in this field, whoever, whatever they're doing, it must create a bit of ripple effect. If it did,
it's a choice what we are doing, right?
exactly, it's a choice, and we do have our personal life, we do have our professional life, and this is just one. I mean, we have other lives, I mean, other part of our life as well, and this is one very small part of it. So I personally think, I don't want to brag about it. Yes, we work really hard. I Nowadays I call myself, I'm a courier service. I'm nothing. It is not my
That's what you
belonging or
told me
anything.
about you
Yeah, I
when
just
we
woke
first
up
talked.
one day. I'm just a courier service. I am just delivering things from here to there. I'm just managing things. It's not my stuff. It is, by the grace of Allah. I am just being able to do it. So I am happy what I am doing. I just want people to come forward. It doesn't matter whether you want to help or not, but please support us in every means, be it in social media, be it financial, be it even by giving us a proper good morning in the morning. That would be, that actually will make our day. Just, you know what, do whatever. Just be who you are. Be true to yourself. And if anything we do makes you happy, do it for somebody else. That's it. I mean, it just, 2 is to 2, 4, 4 is to 2, 8, it just multiplies. So happiness, kindness, these things just multiply. So I would, whoever is watching us today, I would just request you all just to multiply whatever we are trying to do here. That's it.
Absolutely. This is just reinforces the message that yes, of course, you must love yourself first enough, because if you don't, then you're not going to be able to love somebody else. So it is very important that you look after yourself. And this is just a reminder that when you're on an aircraft, then you have to first of all place your own oxygen mask before you place the oxygen mask onto the child. So if you are trying to save the child first, the chances are you will die and the child will die. So first of all, save yourself. We are not in any way suggesting that the people, everybody who is doing good deeds, that they should deprive themselves. No, that's not the point. What we are comparing is that the cup of coffee and a slice of cake, could you by all means enjoy your cup of tea, your cup of coffee, or your favorite chocolate drink and your chocolate cake, but also spare a thought for those who are going to benefit from that. Because remember, we often blame when there is a pickpocket caught in the streets. Everybody wants to go and beat the hell out of that person, but they don't think, why is the person stealing? Why is the person turned out to be a pickpocket? Because society hasn't really done much to prevent that. And that's what we're talking about: awareness, the parents' awareness, the children's awareness, create a better society that does not have the basic needs to be to go out stealing for the basic needs. So that's one of the things that we need to appreciate, that we are partly responsible for creating a society of criminals in a way. So we have to do our part as responsible citizens in trying to educate, to support, and to alleviate. We cannot alleviate poverty totally, but we have the sustainable projects that will help in creating an awareness and helping create the grounds for people to become self-sufficient. And that is what we are all about. Our show is discussing corporate social responsibility. And this is not only during the pandemic, but this is beyond. But of course, this is a very challenging time. And as Nadia said about the dengue issue coming in, of course, it's very frightening. because with dengue, the symptoms can be somewhat similar to COVID, I believe. So it can be sometimes a bit doubtful of whether the person is contracted dengue or COVID. And I believe as the winter is approaching, the chances of dengue are rising again. Is that correct?
Yes, it's
So
very
that's
much.
something that very
And I would
much.
request everyone, whoever is watching, please, please, please keep your house clean, keep your city clean, be it in any means. Anybody have a air cooler, make sure there is no water storage in your
Mhm.
I mean AC or something. I don't know, there are many ways. I can't say it in one go, but let's all
Yes.
try to make our place little better, and we can do it, trust me. If I guess 5,000 years back, those people could do it, we can do it too. I know that Bangladesh is overpopulated, but if we all can do our little bits, I guess the number of diseases is going to come down. I
Yeah.
sometimes, I mean, I go out and I see the mask is actually hanging in the throat. It's not it's not in the right place. I don't know why. And we, I guess South Asian people love to cough. We love to cough, and so I would request everybody watching us, please put your mask, keep your city clean, keep your house clean. So yes, and people keep on forgetting that Allah gave us a lot of plants which actually can, help to reduce a lot. I mean, mosquito and insects. So start planting those plants. Adnan, you should start
Absolutely.
planting plants in your schools, or I
Yeah,
should just give you, or I should just start giving you.
please.
Yes, let's do that. Let's do
Looking forward to that, Nadia. Looking forward to that.
that. I love plants, and for plants any day. But
Yeah,
Sami,
sure.
as you're in
Inshallah.
UK, you have a lot of people and a lot of friends and colleagues.
Yes.
Tell them to, start doing something about the plants thingy. Yes, it's very, very much needed.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I
I
think
will.
Sami bhai,
We can start a
like,
campaign. We can
since
Yes,
it's
start a
like
campaign.
UK based radio, and I think a lot of listener that have been watching us or will watch us later. So I just would like to request that if somebody is not, I cannot help financially, or give back financially, it doesn't matter. Like, the people who are supporting can promote their work, and among their networks, I think that's one kind of charity. Promoting charity is one kind of charity too. So
Absolutely.
we need people like you who can promote our work, or the people who are working like us. I think they need your support, even by sharing their work among your like friends and families. I think that makes much more sense. Uh, and then surely, what Nadia Apu is doing about the dengue and the winter campaign, I personally would like to appeal for Nadia Apu here, in the publicly, that please, like, let's work together. Let's help these people in the northern part. Like, I'm just we're doing live, and a friend of mine who just sent me just one article which is in the Daily Star Bangla, and it says, hamak ekna kombol diben, hamra zarote bachong na. It's something like, please give us one blanket, that we will die in the winter. And this is from
Mm.
the Lalmonirhat in North Bengal.
Extreme
I think
north. Yes.
people,
Mm.
it's just extreme. I went there a few days back. Last weekend, I was in the Saidpur, and I took just my t-shirts, and I was like, very very confident, like, oh, it's still November, there's no cold. And I really feel I still have the cold inside. I have,
Mhm.
like, I was suffering from fever for last 2-3 days,
Mm.
for this cold. So just imagine the situation. Like, probably my immune system is better than the people are staying there, and they're suffering more. I think we all should come together and come forward and help to this cause, what Nadia is doing, what we are doing, or what other organizations is doing.
Thank you, Adnan, so much. Thank you. I really appreciate.
Thank you. That's the spirit of working together because the cause is the same cause. We want to create a better society, a community where children are safe, children are fed, and children have a future because they are our future. And if we have a better society, a better community, we have a safer community for those that we leave behind as well. Is there any number or any contact that you wanted to leave behind, which I can put on a scroller so that even after this show, because this show will be repeated and this show will be rebroadcast several times, then people can contact yourselves directly if needed. So if I can start with you, Nadia, is there a number that you want to leave for anyone who
Yes.
wants to do either
Yeah.
a big...
Should I say the number?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's 017
Yes,
919
yes.
65359.
Okay. And if I can just take Adnan, is there a number you wanted to put through for the any support that people wanted to
Yeah,
extend?
sure. So this is my phone number and WhatsApp both. So it's +88 0175 9988 791.
Excellent. I'm going to place this on the scroller so we can then have this number on there. So we just put it on there. Just create
I
a
think
banner.
we got a donor for Nadia Afu. I think Mr. Ali Kadir, he just commented to Sami Bhai, Dosto, please tell Nadia that I like to participate to blanket and mosquito net. Thank you so much, Mr. Ali Kadir. I think
Thank you, Mr.
Nadia
Sami.
is here to communicate.
Excellent. Well, of course, if you are still having difficulty communicating, I would request all the listeners and the viewers of Relax Radio, Travel Show, and Relax Radio, other programs, to contact us, to message us, and we will forward the message to Nadia and to Adnan. But I'm leaving the number on the screen so you can see the number for both Nadia and Adnan are on the screen, and you can feel free, and please do not feel that you have to contribute by a fixed amount. Whatever you feel you happy with, any small, every drop makes an ocean. And of course, to pass the word around to as many people, encourage as many people to do good is help itself. And that's the awareness that we're talking about. We are not raising any money here. We're not here to ask you for any money, but for any form of support, encouragement, inspiration, and to get any volunteers. As you know, it's very important that we encourage our future generations also to volunteer, because that gives them an opportunity to become better citizens. As we say, that we learn to give, and our happiness is by giving. So if there is any final message that I can have from before we close the show from you, Nadia, as a final statement. I know our show is an hour, but we've gone over, but that's fine. That's not a problem. It's always very encouraging and fulfilling to be able to do shows of this nature that help everybody together. So a final message from you, Nadia, before we close.
Be happy, make others happy, do what's best for you, and do the same thing for others as well. That's it.
Thank you. Adnan?
Uh, like a message to everyone that thank you so much for being with us, and I would like to thank you for being a wonderful person in your life by giving back somehow in one another, but then also requesting you to support people in any way possible. It's not necessary you have to support financially. It can be being an advisor, being a fundraiser, even being a promoter. So I mean, that's one thing I'd like to mention. I think everyone is amazing. I think they just need to show it to the people. That's it.
Excellent. There's one final comment which we have. Thank you. This is from Ali Kader. Dosto, please tell Nadia I'd like to participate to blanket and mosquito net. That's great. The number is on the screen. So, Dosto, please feel free to contact Nadia directly with that number, or I will alternatively, after the show, pass on Nadia's number to you, and you can then participate in any way that you feel appropriate. And of course, to tell as many friends and family to support. And likewise, all my Relax Radio listeners and viewers, I'm requesting you all to do your part in sharing this today's program as much as possible. As the winter is approaching, the bitter cold is approaching, people are in dire need, and of course with the mosquito menace that is also across the Dhaka city and the other parts of Bangladesh, it's very important that we try to keep these numbers low, the numbers of mosquito infected people low. Dengue is of course a danger, and it is also a killer, like COVID as well. So I want to thank my guests today for their valuable time, and of course for all the work that they do. A round of applause for them and salutes to them for all the wonderful work they do. Keep doing that. All the supporters and the donors and the volunteers, all the people who donated and supported, it would not be possible without your support. So yes, a salute and a round of applause for all your trust in Nadia and Adnan for delivering the wonderful work that they do. So we will continue to have further updates later on, sometime during December again, a very short program. But again, thank you again for being with the Relax Radio, and have a very blessed day, evening, afternoon, whichever time zone you are in. It's been great having you all with us today, and we hope to see you back again soon. So have a blessed evening,
Yes.
and
Salute.
assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Take care, everyone.
Yes, we'll go backstage and we'll have a chat.